I'm Sierra Smith.
And I'm Rohan Rajiv, and this is the Race to 270.
On March 13th, both Republican running mates and Democratic vice presidential candidate Riley completed another round of campaigning in the states. The Republicans both campaigned in Pennsylvania. Here are the highlights from Kierkegaard's Pennsylvania speech.
As president, I would cut taxes on small businesses as well as people who are the working class. As a Republican candidate, I promise you that I will cut taxes and keep them the same and actually solve the budget problem. Because the Democrats, on the other hand, will want to cut your taxes temporarily and provide you the illusion that you're paying a low rate. But in reality, since the debt's really high, they're eventually going to have to raise it. Whereas I give you a guarantee that I'll cut taxes and cut spending. As president, I understand how it's like to run a country.
Many good points there from Kierkegaard, but he may be overestimating his qualifications just a little. He has not yet had the chance to run the country. Kierkegaard made a similar speech in Florida, where he made these interesting comments.
I understand that Julie Patel as well as Leanna Riley want to campaign on the promise that they'll cut taxes, but in fact that's a lie. They have no guarantee that they'll solve the debt problem, which means that they're not actually going to keep the taxes the same. However, as president, I promise you, I guarantee you, that I will cut taxes and cut spending. Growing up, I understand how the economy works, I understand how politics works, and I understand what it's like to run a country. I ran the country partially as senator. I ran the country partially as governor of Ohio, so I understand what it's like. However, Ms. Patel and her VP seem incompetent by promising false things. We want universal health care as well, but we want competence. We want competition that will promise low costs and good health care.
Kierkegaard continually insists that he knows how the economy works and that he plans to cut the debt, but he has yet to share how he specifically plans to do it. He insists that the Democrats give false guarantees of cutting taxes, while asking us to trust him when he guarantees the same thing. Finch focused her Pennsylvania speech on education.
One thing I want to mention is that I do, for one, agree with my opponents on education. However, I do not agree with how the Democrats are going about trying to fix our education. How will education get better if we don't make sure that there is competition? By always providing money and making sure that every single school is average, we are not helping our children. And if we want this economy to get better, and we want our children to grow up and be prosperous, then we have to make sure that each school is the best that it can be, by ensuring our children get the best education from the best teachers and focusing on that.
Finch said she disagreed with how her opponents plan to handle education, but she never herself said how she plans to go about improving it. Democratic presidential candidate Patel took this week off, but her running mate, Riley, spoke in Virginia and North Carolina, touching on various topics. Here are the highlights.
Firstly, we pledge to initiate reforms to green energy programs and increase funding to environmental business development. This will simultaneously create more jobs and shall kill two birds with one stone. By lowering taxes for small businesses, we will assist the middle class in supporting themselves in the ways they've lacked in the past. As far as gun control goes, we're going to promote strict background checks and make sure that it is not easy to get a gun and to not harm others in our country. Universal health care is very important. We're going to make sure, but we're also going to make sure that it does not prevent or limit citizens from doing what they want. It is their health care, and they are going to be able to mold it to how they want to use their health care.
We talked to some citizen representatives and asked them what issues they'd most like to see tackled.
I think probably gun control, one thing. I want to hear more about gun control and probably also welfare also.
I'm from Colorado, and I would like to see them talk about social issues and foreign policy issues.
I'm from Michigan, and I'd like to hear more about the social and the environment.
As it stands right now, the Democrats seem to have the upper hand in the swing states. They are currently projected to win 80 out of the 136 swing votes, the biggest portions coming from Florida, 29 votes, and Pennsylvania with 20. They hold over 12% advantages in Florida, as well as a 14% advantage in Wisconsin. The Republicans hold only 56 of the votes thus far, the most important belonging to Ohio. No president has won the election without Ohio's help since 1964. The Republicans hold a 10% advantage there as well as in Colorado. Look out for Iowa, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, as these states prove to be close calls at the moment. We'll have more updates for you on our next segment.
Join us next time on the Race to 270.